What's going on, good people? It's Will, your friendly neighborhood range therapist, and today we're going to talk about drawing your firearm while driving. So if you're going to draw your firearm while driving, obviously being in the car and having to fight from your car is not a good situation, but if you have to, you have to. A couple things to consider. One is the steering wheel. So once you get your firearm out, you want to make sure if I have to go left or right that I'm not getting hung up on the steering wheel. So depending on where my gun comes out, I might have to come over, I might have to stay tight in order to extend to get past it, whether that's right side, left side, or if I just have to bore a hole in the windshield. But making sure that you're not getting caught on the steering wheel is one thing. The other thing is making sure you don't flag yourself, right? So when your gun comes out, and this is obviously a piece of plastic, you don't want to be pointing the gun directly at your legs, right thigh, left thigh, either or your feet or anything else. You want to make sure the gun comes out and up before you start moving it right or left, right? So I don't want to come up and flag myself, especially if I'm coming from strong side and I go to draw my gun. What I don't want to do is draw my gun and then point it at both my legs as I'm coming up to the target. I want to make sure my gun clears the holster, comes up, and then I can move across if I need to go across my body. Now, staging. Staging is really popular. There's always posts online. The most recent one that I saw was a rig where it had a holster kind of under the steering column. Others are magnets, or some people have a firearm like in their cup holder on the seat next to them. Seat next to them, you hit the brake, that slides off, not good. You get in an accident, slides off the seat, not good. Any of the mounted ones where you mount your holster, whether it's on magnets or under the steering column, side of the door, wherever, are bad ideas for a couple of reasons. One, if you have to exit your vehicle quickly, now you're going to be exiting your vehicle with a gun in your hand. Not a good idea. Second, sooner or later, you're going to leave it in the car when you go in the store, whether it's intentional or not. Where you get lazy and don't feel like moving the gun to another holster or moving the holster and putting it on, it's going to happen, or if you just forget. Right, huge issues. So the best place for your firearm to be is on your person. There really is no reason to get into the car, and then move your firearm from your body to another holster or anything like that. The more you handle your gun when you don't need to, the more likely you are to have some sort of negligent discharge. We're all human, accidents can happen. I don't care who you are. So handling the gun more and more loaded just doesn't make any sense. So what we need to do is we need to get trained, and then we need to dry fire, and then if your range allows you, live fire from your car seat and from the passenger seat to see what things that maybe you didn't account for. For example, I went to the range and shot from the driver's seat, and as I was trying to lean over, the seatbelt was locking, right? So you know, if you pull the seatbelt too tight or too fast, it'll lock. It was doing that, so that was a lesson. So I had to know, like, all right, if I'm drawing in the car, I always wear my seatbelt. I had to make sure that I'm not moving my body too fast, because the seatbelt will lock and it'll keep you from being able to move. When I first started carrying, I used to carry strong side, right? So strong side, as a right-hander, the seatbelt can present some trouble. You can train around that. It's something you just have to practice. But for me, it was easier. Appendix is much easier, which was the main reason that I switched, because the seatbelt doesn't affect my draw stroke, right? Now, if you're someone that's worried about getting to your gun super fast, you can always drive and just put your cover garment behind your holster. Now you have one less step to get to the gun. It's also much easier to get to the gun one-handed if need be. So there's ways around that, but mounting the gun somewhere else is just not a good idea, family. It's completely unnecessary. Add some extra gun handling that is, again, unnecessary, and it's actually slower, right? So what you saw in the beginning of the video, that was 1 second for me to get my gun out and onto target, 1 second par. If I have to reach down here, I have really long arms, right? I can barely get under my steering column. If there's a gun there, I'm gonna have to lean forward. So you're telling me I have to lean forward, get a firing grip, pull it out, and then get around the steering wheel without flagging myself, and then get the gun into the fight with both hands. That is gonna be much slower than getting the gun right here. All day, every day. If you don't believe me, try it for yourself. Make sure you have a par timer. Don't go by a time that's in your head. But either way, man, the video is long overdue. I have a long list of videos. So what I've been doing, you can see my content's a little bit different now. I've been just taking discussions that I've seen or been a part of online, and then making a video as a response, because a lot of times it's easier to get more information out that way. So if you have any questions, let me know. Go ahead and post in the comments below, above, wherever this shit is going to be seen. Y'all have a good day.